We are less than 24 hours away from Buffalo Bills playoff football being back, and we have just received some massive, game-changing news on the injury front. One of our key playmakers has officially been ruled out for this AFC wild card matchup, forcing a major shakeup in the lineup that could define our entire season. But before you start panicking, you need to hear about the secret weapon getting activated that might just turn this game into an absolute blowout. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We are counting down the minutes until kickoff in Jacksonville, and the energy is through the roof. We will be live right here for a watch party during the game, so make sure you are subscribed and have those notifications turned on. If you want the Bills to go down to Florida, beat the Jags, and move on to the divisional round, do me a huge favor and hit that like button right now. Let's show them how strong Bills Mafia really is. We have to start with the major news that dropped today, and honestly, it is a tough pill to swallow. Josh Palmer is officially the most recent Buffalo Bill to be ruled out of this wild card game. He has been dealing with that ankle injury all season long, and despite our hopes that he could grit it out for the playoffs, he hasn't practiced all week. It didn't look great for his availability over the last few days, and now it is confirmed, he is not suiting up. This is incredibly frustrating because this is a guy who just never found his rhythm in his first season with Buffalo. Remember back in March during free agency? We signed him to a 3-year, $36 million deal. We had high expectations. But the return on investment just hasn't been there. He finished the season with just 22 catches for 303 yards and 0 touchdowns. 0. He only played in 12 games, constantly in and out of the lineup, and it felt like every time he started to build chemistry with Josh Allen, he'd get hurt again. If you look back, this lower body issue has been a problem since training camp. I remember seeing reports from camp where people noted that Ray Davis looked explosive, but Josh Palmer was constantly off to the side with trainers, wearing braces, getting his legs worked on. It has been the story of his entire season. So now we are here, in the playoffs, and Palmer can't go. It's a blow to our depth, but we have to ask the real question, what does this mean for a receiving core that has been painfully mediocre for large stretches of this season? We know Gabe Davis will be active and playing, which is huge. But the most interesting development here is that NFL Network is reporting Keon Coleman will be activated for this game. This could be a massive role shift. I would still expect the majority of the snaps along the boundary to be taken by Tyrell Shavers and Brandon Cooks, as they have been the ones finding success lately. However, Coleman being activated is something you need to pay attention to. Think about where we struggle sometimes, the red zone. Coleman is the guy they target on those quick slants, those back shoulder fades to the back corner of the end zone. Could this be the game where they finally unleash him in that area? I fully expect it to be, because the way I see this game playing out, it is going to be filled with fireworks. I expect a shootout. I think there are going to be over 60 points scored in this game. The total is already set over 50, and that tells me Vegas expects touchdowns. With Palmer out, Coleman might just be the piece that turns red zone field goals into touchdowns. But let's be real for a second. At the end of the day, what is this Bills passing offense actually about? It is not about the wide receivers. It is all about Dalton Kincaid. You have seen the numbers, and they are absolutely staggering. The Bills average roughly 33 points per game when Kincaid plays, versus just 22 points per game when he doesn't. That is an 11-point swing just based on his presence. Furthermore, almost all of Josh Allen's turnovers this season, specifically the interceptions, have come when Dalton Kincaid is on the sideline. He is the safety valve. He is the X factor. The Bills know this, and I think they have been keeping him on ice over the past few weeks to make sure he is 100% ready for this moment. He got some reps in Week 18, and now he is fully ready to go. The Jaguars are 23rd in the NFL in touchdowns and yards allowed to tight ends. They cannot cover the position. I presume Joe Brady is going to key in on this matchup heavily. When we saw the Bills play teams earlier this year that were weak against the tight end, Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid went absolutely nuclear. Expect that same philosophy on Sunday. Now, we have to address the other side of the ball because the injury news there is just as significant. It's not just Josh Palmer. Terrell Bernard, our linebacker and captain, is ruled out with a calf injury. This was something I expected since he hadn't practiced all week, but it still hurts to say it out loud. He has been dealing with this calf issue for a while, missing a couple of games in a row. It is unfortunate because Bernard just got that contract extension this past offseason, and while he hasn't had a perfect year, he has made huge plays in the clutch. Shout out to him for that interception in the Dolphins game that helped seal the division. Not having him out there to captain the defense is a loss. And it gets worse for the secondary. Max Hairston is also ruled out with an ankle injury. We kind of knew this was coming after Sean McDermott said on Monday it was unlikely he'd play, but this really stinks because the Bills do not have enough boundary corners on this roster. We have Christian Benford, we have Tre'Davious White, and, that's it. Seriously, we do not have an extra reliable boundary corner. They tried to sign Darius Slay, but he decided not to show up. We lost Jamarcus Ingram to the Texans. We did sign Dane Jackson to the active roster, so we might see him, but losing Hairston means we don't have that guy who can run step for step with the fastest receivers down the sideline. However, Trey White has been significantly out-snapping him toward the end of the season, and I think he has played well enough that we can respect and have faith in him playing nearly 100% of the snaps. Before we move on to the good news, I want to hear from you guys. With all these injuries piling up and the expectations of a high-scoring game, I have a question for you. Who do you think wins this game and what is the final score? I want you to get loud in the comments section right now. Drop a BUF for the Bills or a JAC for the Jaguars, and give me your exact score prediction. I need all of Bills Mafia flooding the comments right now. Okay, let's talk about the silver lining, because there is a massive piece of good news for the defense. While Bernard is out, Shaq Thompson is expected to be good to go. Sean McDermott confirmed he should be ready despite dealing with a neck injury. This is huge. Think about how effective and transformative this Bills defense has been with Shaq Thompson in the lineup. We know our run defense was absolutely horrific for most of the season, but over the last 6 games, it has done a complete 180. Listen to these stats for the last 6 starting running backs against us: Jaylen Warren, 3.5 yards per carry. Chase Brown, 1.9 yards per carry. Saquon Barkley, 3.6 yards per carry. Even when guys got yards, it was tough sledding. The only outlier was Travion Henderson, and that was mostly on one broken play where we took terrible angles. Shaq Thompson is the common denominator here. His ability to fill gaps and communicate has fixed our run defense. If he is able to go, I am very excited to see us shut down the run, even if the Jags aren't a huge running team. Speaking of the Jaguars, let's look at their injury report. It looks much shorter than ours, but there is one name you need to circle: Cole Van Lanen, their left tackle. He is listed as questionable. I don't know if they should play him, to be honest. In the practice videos we have seen this week, he does not look healthy. He is moving gingerly and has a massive brace on his knee. If he is not able to go, they are going to have to shift their entire offensive line around, and that is going to play right into the Bills' favor. If he does try to play, he will be compromised, and our pass rush could expose that weakness. He is the glue holding that offensive front together, so this is a much bigger deal than people are making it out to be. We can talk about injuries and matchups all day, but to close this out, I want to remind Bills fans of one thing. We have number 17, and they do not. That is the fact of the matter. Josh Allen is healthy. He says his foot feels as good as it has in a long time. And here is the stat that should give you all the confidence in the world: Josh Allen has surpassed 270 yards of offense in all 4 of his career road playoff games. He averages 351 yards per game in these spots. The Jaguars have allowed 270 total yards to 7 different quarterbacks this season. I expect points, and I will take Josh Allen in a shootout every single time. If you believe the Bills are going to overcome the injuries, beat the Jaguars, and move on to the divisional round, hit that thumbs up icon right now. That is going to do it for today's breakdown. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss our live watch party tomorrow. We will be live an hour before kickoff. As always, let's go Buffalo.